Hey everyone, so today I have filmed my everyday go-to makeup look. It's super easy to do and easy to recreate. If you want to see how I have done it, then keep on watching this video. Before I start putting any makeup on my face, I always make sure I've properly washed and moisturized my skin, and then for my primer I go straight in with my MAC Strobe Cream in Peach Light and apply most of the product to my cheekbones and forehead, and whatever I have left over on my hands I will just rub into the rest of my skin. This primer will help to give my foundation a glowy finish. Now going in with the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in light beige, which is my absolute favorite, and I will be applying this all over my face with a Real Techniques buffing brush. I make sure that I take this down my neck because this is a pretty dark shade for me as I'm quite pale and I'm not always tanning. So what I do is I make sure that I always bring it back into my hairline, down my neck, and that it always blends in nicely. Once I've got my foundation down, I take a damp sponge and pat all my foundation into my skin. This will give me the most flawless look possible, and the sponge I'm using is also by Real Techniques. Now to highlight and conceal my under eyes, I'm using my Well and Truly Love MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm also using the Urban Decay Naked Concealer. I'm using the Urban Decay one furthest away from my eyes and my MAC one closest because you want the lightest colour to be the closest to your eye. This will help make me look more awake and as well as covering any dark circles I've got. I'm also going to take some of the excess concealer and use this on my eyelids as a base for my eyeshadow later on, and I'm blending this all together with the same sponge that I used before. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll Now to set my concealer in place, I'm using my Nude by Nature Mineral Finishing Veil, and I'm going to pick some of the product up on my sponge and place this under my eyes. I like to look up when I first put the powder on because this will help to prevent under eye creasing, and I also actually really prefer to apply my powder like this now over a brush because I feel like it really does prevent my under eyes from creasing throughout the day. Now to bring some life and colour back to my face, I'm using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I'm using an e.l.f. brush to apply this, and I'm just going to be putting this on the outer perimeters of my face and building it up rather than putting a lot on at once, which I sometimes do, and it always ends up being a hot mess. I also like to bring this product down my neck and put a little bit on my chin. Now for my contour, I'm taking another Real Techniques contour brush and applying this to the hollows of my cheeks. So as you can see, I've actually got a little bit heavy with my contour, and a way you can fix that is to try and bring the colour back with a bit of translucent setting powder. I'm taking the powder I used before and getting a good amount of that product on my sponge, and then just stamping that underneath my cheekbones over the excess powder that I don't want. And then I'm going to get a big fluffy brush and lightly blend that out. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't want to waste what's left. So for my eyeshadow, which is super easy, I'm actually going to be taking the same bronzer and just using one blending brush, and I'm going to keep layering this on my eyelid till I have the colour that I want. This is great because it's so easy to do, and actually it's quite effective. I also run some of the bronzer under my eyes so it looks more smoked out as well. For my eyebrows, I'm using the Chi Chi Brow Pomade, and honestly, if you like using pomades, you need this. It's the best I've tried and it never dries out on me. I'm using a small inglot brush to apply the product, and what I like to do is start applying the product in the middle of my brow and work down to the bottom. And all I'm going to be doing is using little tiny flicking motions, and then I'll use the least amount of product at the front of my brow so I have a nice color gradient from lightest to darkest. Now for mascara, I'm taking my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm just running this through my eyelashes like usual, and I also apply some to my bottom lashes, and then what I'll do is I'll use my finger to lightly take away any of the clumps that may form. For my lips, I'm using the Napoleon Purtis lip liner in Pink Slip and the MAC lipstick in the shade Honey Love, which is such a nice everyday nude. To complete all my makeup, I like to take my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and this is used to make sure my makeup doesn't look cakey and so that it stays in place all day. So that's the end of my everyday go-to makeup tutorial. I hope you really liked it and learned something new. If you want to see more from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you like this video, you can also give it a thumbs up for me. And once again, thanks so much for watching.